It's New Brew Thursday! Woo! And we're at Brouwer's Cafe in Seattle. And with us, you may know him from the I'm a Craft Beer Drinker video. He's number two.
Number two.
So, otherwise known as Matt Bonney. Matt, you're the operations manager for Brouwer's?
Yes, have been for about 6 years.
How do you like it?
Love it.
Is it your dream job?
It is. After Bottleworks, I mean, this was a natural level of like what we were going to do next. So, I mean,
This place is like freaking crazy.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
I've never seen a place like this before.
The idea was to build a place that everybody would want to come to because we know we'd have the beer drinkers, but we wanted to create an environment that was special just for beer drinkers.
Now, Bottleworks is a bottle shop that Vern, the same owner of Brouwer's, owns.
Correct, Matthew Vandenberghe.
Right. Yeah.
So this
And I've
is
been
kind
with
of
Matthew
like,
Vandenberghe for 13 years.
Okay.
I've helped him along the way. He's a sole owner, but I've been his operation manager for 12 and a half, 13 years now.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you guys are kind of a rock star craft beer team.
Yeah, and you know, we've managed to stay friends through the whole thing too. So.
That's actually the key. It's the hardest part of it too. So, well, this place is pretty epic. You have a balcony area. How many taps do you have?
We normally pour 62 taps. Today for the Barley Wine Fest, we're actually judging the most we've ever judged before, which is, I believe, 58 barley wines. So
58. All right.
Yeah.
We're actually here for the Hard Liver Fest, which is the
Festival,
barley
yeah.
wine beer fest that they put on every year. It's the 9th annual. So
So
we thought we'd shoot a
people
show
are
here.
buzzing around like bees, getting ready to start judging barley wines, and we're drinking a barley wine ourselves. I think this is number 48, right?
Number 48, can't tell you what it is yet because there's judges everywhere. And cheers.
Speaking of which, cheers.
We do our own little judging right here of number
Exactly.
48.
I like 48.
I like
Pretty
48 too. We got one before that we did not like, so we switched to number 48. So,
True story.
but so is this strictly a beer place? Do you get food here? How do you?
Oh yeah, we specialize in Belgian cuisine, but you know, the idea behind this place was to have great food and great beer. You go to endless places that, you know, the beer is incredible and you can talk about it all day long, but when your food comes, you're kind of like, it's just fillers. So that was the idea behind this place, was to create an environment that, you know, you could appreciate food and beer in.
Matt, tell us a little bit about, like, all of this looks like it's custom. It's clearly you guys put this together. You didn't buy this facility looking
Really
like
nice
this.
architecture.
I don't know if you'll see any shots of the floor today, but that was the only thing we kept. We brought all the steel in. We brought, you know, this was all bent, the whole horseshoe balcony, mezzanine. It's 2x4s end on end that we created for upstairs to create the mezzanine area. It was just whatever we could do. I mean, we used all their friends on this. And this is, the bar itself is solid binca. So I mean, it's a piece of binca from South Africa this thick.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
The idea behind was, you know, it was just to be original and create, you know, an environment that was unique to, you know, all beer halls.
It's a really beautiful place just to come and hang out at, let alone from all the good
Seriously,
beer that's
like
on tap.
I want this to be my neighborhood bar. Like I want to just be able to come here and
There's a lot of attention
Chill.
to detail. I didn't even notice the 2x4s on the floor. That 2x4s are such a simple thing, but they look beautiful as a floor like that.
Each 2x4 was handpicked by Matt and I. So just to make sure
Right
that they
on.
all look good because, you know, it's all just fur. So.
yeah. Well, this is for as far as beer bars go. You guys have made a really significant name for yourselves because I mean I had never even been to Seattle before, but I've heard of Brouwer's Cafe on numerous occasions.
After Bottleworks, we knew that whatever we did, we had to throw down. So, you know, with our passion and love for beer, and you know, and we wanted, you know, we wanted a place for us to drink, you know, above all. But you know, of course, you know, we built it for our customers. But it was just, you know, after all our travel in Europe and travel over the United States, we kind of took a little bit from everywhere to, you know, create this place so that we can have a unique environment to, you know, for Seattle and for the whole beer world.
Well, we're going to go ahead and shoot off to a master pairings with, I believe, you and Bill.
Yes.
You get
Yes.
thrown into that mess as well.
We'll be doing our barley wine carbonnade today.
Barley wine carbonade, which sounds amazing. So we're going to go do that, and we'll be back.
Hey everyone, welcome to another Master Pairing with me, Dr. Bill. Today we're in Seattle and we're at Brouwer's Cafe for their 9th annual Hard Liver Festival, correct?
Correct.
And with me I have Matt Vandenberghe, the founder and owner of Brouwer's Cafe, and his right-hand man who runs everything, Matt Bonney. And we're gonna do some fabulous Brouwer's food today with a couple great Pacific Northwest beers. So, which one? I know Vern had this plan for Brouwer's, and you guys have been friends forever, and you guys have been talked, and you started with Bottleworks. But who dreamt up the Hard Liver Festival?
Oh, that was both of us.
That was collaborative, yeah.
Collaborative.
And was that based off of like the Toronado Barley Wine Festival, or that we all met at?
It was definitely inspiration.
Okay.
We did it the first 2 years as a nonprofit because we knew that we were going to open up Brouwer's Cafe, but we wanted to be the first in the scene to actually have a giant barley wine fest and have judging. So before the bar was open, we actually did it 2 years at a different location.
And it was certainly inspired by Toronado.
Toronado, yeah, definitely. Where we all met.
Correct.
Which
That's
is,
true.
yeah, it has a place in all our hearts. So, fabulous Barley Wine Festival, 60 barley wines, 58, 60 barley wines, something like that. It's a great time. We've been talking about it on Expert Drinking. We're not pairing barley wines today, though. A lot of you have heard of beef carbonnade. It's a classic Flemish stew, right? Made with beef and a Belgian ale. But they have a special Flemish stew today, and what's that?
It's water buffalo and bacon. It also is served with some creme fraiche on the top, and it's served on a bed of Pomme Frites, which then Carbonnade then becomes stoufflés.
Stoufflés.
Only up here, places like Montana, Idaho, Washington, where you get water buffalo carbonade. That's insane.
Correct.
So that's fabulous. And it's made with the barley wine, right?
Yes.
It's reduced down with the barley wine. Fabulous. So I like to pick things that are different, odd. So what we're going to start out with was we're going to do a little Michael, which is right here of the dog, Alan Sprints. And this is his version of a Flanders Red, correct?
Correct.
What do you think of this? How does it hold up? It's a good early first attempt. Does he already have it wired? This is my first time having it. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
I like it.
I like it.
It's got a nice acidic nature.
It certainly
Let's
does.
go ahead and have a quick, grab a little chunk of this and try and see how it holds up with the carbonade. Wow, delicious.
This is perfect. I haven't had breakfast yet.
It's delicious.
Try it with your beer, Vern, see what you think. The water buffalo is beautiful, juicy, has great depths of flavor from the barley wine reduction, and I think the Flanders Red plays really well. It brings out nice.
I think the acidicness opens up your palate a little bit, and you can really taste the amount of time that we took to cook that carbonade, which was 4 hours.
Yeah, so that definitely puts a lot of depths of flavors whenever you're doing stocks at home, things like that. The longer you're doing. Sorry about all the background noise, guys. We got a barley wine festival going on at the same time here. Just started. A lot of eager fans coming in. We really like this. I like the way this opens up the palate. I think it accentuates it, and it works really well together.
I really prefer the acidity in the beer as opposed to in the carbonade.
Yeah, definitely.
You can do it with the Flemish Reds, but
So
it's just a nice, real meaty taste.
I picked another beer from Alan Sprints, a hair of the dog, and it's Adam from the Wood, but it's Cherry Adam from the Wood. Adam is a traditional Dortmunder beer. It's an old style of ale, 10%, and now he's done not only on wood, but he also did cherry. Is this his first attempt at this one? Is this the first batch of 2009?
No, I believe this is the second.
Ah, that's very nice.
Huge. Try it with the meat.
Yeah. Tell you what, really good. That's really nice.
It still works very well.
It still cuts.
It's a very robust beer.
Right.
The cherry is not too sweet. It's more of a dry fruit, so it's still a very complimenting on the palate.
Yeah, because it cuts through the fat still, even though it's so big and rich, but it brings out more of the wood actually
Exactly.
in it, and
Yeah.
it comes out really nice.
I would agree.
So I think we had a pretty successful master pairing.
Yeah.
Great food, guys. You got to come down here to Brouwer's. It's the premier Pacific Northwest Belgian beer bar. It might be the premier Belgian beer bar in the country. Sorry, Tom. Anyways, but it's an amazing bar, one of the most beautiful bars I've ever seen. Hope to see you guys down here, and thanks for coming to another Master Pairings. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Boom.
Now you have a series of beers that are put out for you.
As far as I know,
For Brouwer's, yeah.
Between Bottleworks and Brouwer's, we're we've done more private label beers than anybody in the United States, which I call the Imagination Series. I call it the Imagination Series for the reason that I don't like the word, consignment brew or having somebody brew something for us.
Right.
Matt and I are very involved in the whole process, so that's why I call it the Imagination Series. And we're also trying to create things that are unique to ourselves and unique to the whole beer styles. A lot of the beers we made really don't go in any category at all.
Now, these are not your anniversary beers, right?
Right.
Anniversary beers are in the Imagination Series for Bottleworks.
Okay.
We have the Brouwer's Imagination Series, we have the Bottleworks Imagination Series. We've done about 9 or 10 Imagination Series anniversary beers over at Bottleworks, and we're booked all the way up to about 16 currently, and we're at 12. We just did one with a brewery that was a style that was kind of to myself that I just came up with, was an Imperial Wit with Vandenberghe yeast.
Right.
It was an Imperial Wit.
Imperial Wit with Berliner Weiss yeast.
Correct.
Yes.
And it's early here at Brouwer's Cafe.
And we're already drinking.
That's one of my employees.
Not for long.
Surrounded by love and Browers.
Yes.
So with the Imagination Series, it was just it's always trying to create something that's not in the market and very exclusive to ourselves. And with that being said, it's in the market that's become so competitive. It's nice to have things for myself to sell.
Yeah. So, what are some of the breweries that you've worked? Because I know you've done one with Lost Abbey. You've done with the brewery.
Russian River.
Russian River.
We've done Flyers here in Seattle. We've done Elysian. We've done Tommy Arthur with Brouwer's Cafe. We're doing some of the ones that are coming up is Cascade in Oregon.
Oh, wow.
We're doing one with Tommy Arthur. We're doing one with Hub. We actually, next year's 13th is going to be done at Stone Brewing Company.
Excellent.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So I understand that you have some bottles that you want to show us.
Yes.
And we're going to try to convince them to open them.
We could probably do that. We can do
So,
that, yeah.
but we're going to do that up in the office so we can get out of the way of all these people who are working. And so we'll see you in just a minute up there.
Boom.
So we're back up here in the office. It's kind of a little bit rowdy and ruckus because it's the post-after party for the judging competition. But
It's the ongoing party.
it's an ongoing party, and it will go long into the evening, I'm sure. But we came up here to try to try some of the Imagination Series beers that Brouwer's Bottleworks has done. So talk about a little bit about what you guys got here.
We'll have 3 of these, which I'll get to in a moment. But the Imagination Series was a way for Matt Vandenberghe and I to create, styles unique to ourselves, also to create a little exclusivity for ourselves in a beer market that's become more and more competitive. So, and then it's also led into the fact that we started to do a lot of our anniversary beers, which is also part of the Imagination Series. We call it the Imagination Series for the simple fact that we are part of the whole process. We're part of making the beer. Sometimes we're part of bottling the beer. It's my least favorite part. But, and then we're part of the label. I mean, we're part of everything. The whole presentation of the beer. So then that way, we can take responsibility for the beer, which is why. I mean, essentially why we do it. So we're able to pair with people. And then take responsibility for the beer and say that we're part of it instead of saying it was consignment. Somebody else did it for us. That it's more exciting this way.
Yeah.
So would you say that you guys are?
You have an active role in.
Absolutely. That's the largest part of the whole thing is that we have to be a huge part of making the beer.
Okay.
Otherwise, we won't do it.
Yeah.
So would you say that you guys are Imagineers?
I guess we could say we were Imagineers.
Because I guess we could say that if we wanted to be sued by Disney. So,
Does Disney say that?
yeah, they're Imagineers, the people that make their rides.
We could
and
say
whatnot,
we're the
so-
music makers and the makers of dreams.
Exactly. I call you the Candyman, but that's just something between us.
I prefer Willie.
Nice.
When Tommy's beers came to the market from Lost Abbey, I said, well, what about these beers? Can we have the red poppy? Can we have all these things? We're getting them now, but he said, no, it's impossible for me to get to that product right off the front. I said, well then, let's make a one-off beer for Brouwer's every year. And Tommy said, great idea.
Hell yeah, that's awesome, dude.
So we went to Lost Abbey and made this beer. This is a Brettanomyces Saison, which took a bronze in the World Beer Cup back in 2008.
Yeah, right on.
So I mean, we've won about 3 or 4 medals with our Imagination beers. So I mean, to be part of a product from beginning to end and then win an award I mean, it really shows.
That's really cool. Yeah.
So we're going to try this one right now. The Brettanomyces have actually kicked up quite a bit in this beer, so it's actually, getting quite complex. Let's just have Bill.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So as you can tell, the nose is becoming pretty powerful on this beer now. I mean,
Yeah, you can smell it just pouring it out.
it was.
That's funky. Cheers to imagination.
Cheers. So, Saisons typically aren't the best beers to hang on forever, but, when you got a little funkiness in it, it'll
It
last.
just makes it more and more complex every year.
It's almost got Orval characteristics.
Yeah, totally. That's. Oh, I like this beer. I have liked this beer a lot. So
We got 3 beers, so
It's got that
he's like, drink
I'll
fast.
pour 'em bigger next time.
that funky smell, but the taste, I don't get a lot of the. Maybe it's because I've had a lot of barley wines today.
There's a nice little malt left. I think there's a little sauce
And
hop
there's
in
some
there.
pepper
Tasty.
to it. Yeah, there's definitely some pepper to it, and some. The saison qualities are still there, but you're right. You get a little of the Orval backbone a little bit, where you can just. It's a living, breathing creature at this point. So
Really good, really clean finish.
yeah.
I got Dr. Bill over here finding corks at us.
We're having cork.
Exactly.
We're having cork wars.
This last one was a little limp.
So as you can see, the after party gets crazy. So
So we got to finish this beer.
Bill's just jealous because we replaced him with a sexier version. So
So the next one that we have here is I went to Lost Abbey again. I was actually up for the Stone Sour Fest, and what I really wanted to do was that I wanted to make a acidic dark beer.
Okay.
I did not want Brettanomyces. I didn't want any lacto or anything like that. I wanted heavy acidic dark beers. So there's too many beers to talk about that went into this beer, but I had the hard job of tasting about 40 different barrels of beer at Lost Abbey. It was.
and if you want the full backstory on this beer, go back into our archives, watch the episode with Lori Delk. We actually
That was slow.
that was just slow and deliberate right there. So no, if you want the complete backstory of this beer, check our archives. We did a show with Lori Delk at Lost Abbey. We did this beer on that show. Talked about the whole backstory of it. It's awesome. So definitely an amazing beer. So let's try it again.
It's really cool hearing the story from Matt's point of view. Too.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we heard it from Tommy and Bill's on that show.
They complained a lot about you, by the way, on that show.
Why is that?
Because they were just like, oh, he made us try all these beers. He's horrible. I'm just kidding. They didn't say any of that stuff.
Actually, I believe Tommy went home early.
That's what he said too. I remember
Yes,
him saying
Here's
that.
one to Bill.
Whoa! There it is.
So this beer's. I'm proud of all our Imagination
Thank you.
Series beers, but I would say that this beer is by far one of my favorite, just because
Oh, that smells good.
it was incredibly unique. I mean, rosemary, raisins, and just a huge acidicness. Bourbon barrels.
Yeah.
There was some lost and found beer in here. I mean, Tommy really opened up a lot of barrels for us to try, and was
Right
really
on.
buying the whole product. So it was pretty incredible.
Well, cheers to firing corks at Dr. Bill.
Cheers.
And to the Lost Abbey.
And to the Lost Abbey.
May we hit him on the next round?
Exactly. What's funny is when we started filming, there was nobody in this office, and then everybody flows right in. So,
But this beer's phenomenal.
oh yeah,
This is great.
this is.
nice
I
sourness
agree.
to it.
Like I've had about four of the Imagination Series beers, and I agree. This is, and I'm a huge Flanders Red fan, and there's such a huge Flanders Red quality to this beer.
Oh yeah.
And it's just it brings so much more to the table than just that.
But it's incredible in the fact that it's just so acidic,
Yeah.
and there's no real crazy funk in there, and I don't think there ever will
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely a beer that's going to live for a long time.
be. All right, and it's another one that we get to drink pretty quick at 10%.
Exactly. So the last one that we're going to try is the 12, which is highly sought after. It's a Imperial Berliner Weiss, and corks are flying still. So talk a little bit about why you wanted to make this beer. And it's this one.
This was Matt and I went to Hoyga We went to Huyga in Belgium, and we got one. And they had, they have all these wit beers that are infused with everything known to man.
Right.
So it's chocolate and raspberries and passion fruit and kiwi and so that was kind of the inspiration. So what I wanted to do though was like jack it all up. So those beers are typically at like 3.2%. So I wanted to do Imperial Wit, but I wanted a little bit more funkiness to it, so I had the Berliner Weiss yeast added to it. And then on top of it, we put in Carbonnade barrels with whole raspberries.
So that's where the framboise comes in.
Right.
All right.
But-
So I knew there was framboise in it somewhere.
But we're not really selling this beer as a framboise.
Right,
or
right.
Just, a really crazy Imperial Wit because I don't know anybody else that's done this.
Yeah. This beer tastes phenomenal. And
What really strikes me with this is the nose. It's got this funk that I don't know where it comes from. Is it the yeast?
It's
the Berliner Weiss. Yeah, it's
a mixture of the yeast in the barrels.
this is
It's
basically
just
this is basically Hottenroth on steroids.
Yeah.
But
Because Hottenroth is a Berliner Weiss as well. But this is like way above that level. And it has so much more going on in it that it's crazy when you drink it. It just
But it's a tart monster. The Imagination series originally started as beers that we just made for ourselves. The first one we ever did was the Bottleworks IPA that Dick's Brewing Company made for us. But part of the Imagination series, a large part of the Imagination series, is our anniversary beers. So we've been lucky enough to work with some incredible brewers.
who can we look forward to seeing you doing an Imagination series with in the future?
The next one is Stone. It's going to be 13%, 13 hops, 13 malts. We're going to try and do it on the 13th because it's our 13th anniversary.
It's going to be the most unlucky beer ever.
Exactly. Which is appropriate for
Exactly.
I don't even know if 13's lucky. But the next one we're going to do is Cascade down in Oregon, which we're actually starting to pick out beers now for that beer, which is still, about 26 months away. So, which is exciting.
and these days, that's kind of how you got to plan beer out, because if you decide to age them on barrels, you're talking a year and a half.
Yeah. And typically we do anywhere from 10 to 15 barrels, so we have to space these things out, and breweries have to be prepared for it because that's a lot of product.
Right on. So we're gonna head back down to the bar now and wrap this show up because this is all crazy, and so we're gonna wrap it up down at the bar. And
We need
so
to
we'll
get that slow guy to come.
Yeah, exactly. John,
wrap it.
Yeah,
Wrap it.
we're gonna wrap it in latex. So,
And,
John, where's John at? John, can we have you walk slowly across the camera again? No? All right. So we're gonna head down to the bar. We'll see you down there.
Once again, I'm Matt Bonney. I'm number 2.
Number 2.
Boom.
Matt, thank you very much for having us in here. Thank you for
Beautiful place. Man.
bringing us up for the Hard Liver Festival. I'm very excited. My first Hard Liver Festival. I'm hoping I don't die.
I'm hoping my liver doesn't actually get hard.
Exactly.
It's just a
Unless
clever
it's like
name,
a
right?
sexual reference, which I could totally go for.
Thank God this is the end of the show for that reason alone. So I'm the number 2 guy.
And as always, folks, stay safe and drink beer. Cheers, Matt.
Cheers.